Are you new to Diablo 4? Are you just getting started? You want to play Barbarian? You want to do damage? I think I have the build for you. Let's get into it. What's up, y'all? It's your boy JKG. We are back. We are doing some Diablo 4 content for you guys. This is the first video on the live production of Diablo 4. I know it's getting set to go live for everybody here pretty soon. As of recording this, it is Sunday morning, about right around 1 a.m. As of recording this. And I wanted to kind of play test a bunch of stuff before I gave you guys my first video. I just kind of wanted to kind of live with the barb a little bit. My day one build was doing okay. Not the greatest. I will be hand up. It's not the greatest build out there. However, I did stumble upon a build here just about an hour or two ago. Been play testing it a little bit here and there. And I think this might be one of, if not the best DPS builds for Barb. We'll get right into it. We're not really going to go over like aspects or anything like that, because that is going to be something that's going to just really change a build in no time. But what we'll do is we will take a look here. Skill wise, what we're looking at is Hammer of the Ancients is the big one here. Hammer of the Ancients is going to do a ton of damage for us in this build. I'm playing around with Frenzy. This is just kind of like a little bit of a play test as we speak of this. Frenzy is kind of what I'm running right now. I'll go over the other option once we get into the actual tree itself. Warcry is a big one. Rallying Cry is a big one because we're going to be able to buff our own damage. Leap is also going to be a really good damage dealer for us, guys. So don't sleep on Leap. And then Call of the Ancients. So we're going to use Hammer of the Ancients and Call of the Ancients because both of those are going to do a really good work for us here. So now if we come in here, so here we are on the actual skill tree itself. So we're going to kind of go in here and we are looking at Frenzy as our base skill here. As we speak, as it is on my barb as we speak, right? So we're going to come up here, Enhance Frenzy, and I'm actually using Combat Frenzy to get damage reduction. Damage reduction is going to be massive for us, especially as we go into, like, if we're fighting, if we're under geared, under leveled, and we're trying to fight above our pay grade, basically, this is going to be massive for us just to stay alive. And then the other option is actually Lunging Strike. So Lunging Strike is actually the other option for this build as your base. And this one is really cool because what it does is once we come in here, take Enhanced, and then we come up to the Battle Lunging Strike, we're going to inflict bleeding. Bleeding is massive for the barb. So other classes, Necromancer and Rogue specifically, have the options to give poison damage. I'm not sure if the other classes do or not, but the barb, I haven't seen anything that gives us any poison damage over time or anything like that. We have bleeding, so that's our damage over time, and it just chunks down as you go. So that's definitely a really good option. Lunging Strike is a slower attack animation, so it feels like you're lumbering through content, and I'll kind of show it to you guys here momentarily. I'll give you a little bit of a show with the Frenzy as the base and a little bit of a show with the Lunging Strike. The reason I'm playtesting Frenzy currently is literally just because of Fury generation. We can hit 2, 3, 4 times real quick in succession, generate some Fury, and then get off our Hammer of the Ancients, which is right here, where we're going to do a big AoE hit. It's going to do a lot of good damage for us. And then you can kind of see it right there, dealing 813 to 984 based on my current stats and everything. Really, really good damage for us. Come in here, get Enhanced, and then come up to the Furious Hammer of the Ancients, which is going to do additional damage for each point of Fury you had when you use it. So obviously when we can get our Fury bar up to full, it's going to do more damage. As we come down, it's going to do less damage, which Frenzy, stacking that Fury quicker, means we're going to be able to have heavier hits. So that's my thought process there. May or may not actually work for you and your playstyle, but for me and my playstyle, I think it's going to work a little bit better that way. Remains to be seen. I'm going to play test it all. So don't worry about that. We have ground stomp from some of our gear. We're not really worried about that at all whatsoever. Rallying cry, you can see we have 7 out of 5. That's just from some gear pieces that we have on currently. But rallying cry is going to give us movement speed and resource generation. So we're going to generate our fury a little bit quicker. And then it's also going to help out our allies. So it's a team buff. So when we are in a party, we're going to buff our teammates. We are going to use the enhanced, and we're going to come over here to tactical, which is going to generate 20 fury and grant additional 20% resource generation. So we're going to get a little bit of a spike in our fury, and then we're also going to get 20% over that while it's up. So that's going to be really good for us. You can see here we're not really taking anything else here. We're going to come over here to war cry. War cry, similar to the rallying cry, we are going to actually buff our teammates and everything like that. This one is going to increase our damage. So this one is straight up damage, more damage. It's going to also buff our damage, our allies' damage during that time as well. And we're going to come up here to Mighty Warcry, which is actually going to give us more life based as Fortify. So we are going to hopefully live a little bit longer so we can get out some of that damage a little bit more. We are going to basically max out Booming Voice, Raid Leader, and Guttural Yell. Guttural Yell, we are going to get additional 12% less damage for 5 seconds. So we're going to take less damage, means we're going to stay alive a little bit longer, means we're going to do a little bit more damage in the fight. Shouts here for Raid Leader is going to heal our allies by 3% of their max life. So we're actually going to be able to get out a little bit of a heal. Not a big heal, but it's something, right? And then Booming Voice, our shout skill directions, when we max it out, it's going to be increased by 24%. So that's actually a pretty significant jump there. We are going to use Leap. Again, mine is currently overpowered just based on some gear pieces, but Leap is going to give us leap forward, then slam down, dealing a good amount of damage, 49%, knocking back the enemies on impact as well. And then come and get Enhanced Leap. So if we don't damage any enemies for some reason, it's going to reduce the cooldown. It's not not the super longest cooldown in the world, which is 12.6 seconds. Sounds crazy, but I've been running some skills that have insane cooldowns. We'll get to one here pretty shortly, but we go ahead and take Enhanced, and then we get the Power Leap. So we are going to gain we're going to gain 40 Fury if we damage at least one enemy, which we're pretty much going to damage at least one enemy. Aggressive Resistance, we're going to use that, so we're going to take less damage while we're berserking, which is going to be awesome. Prolific Fury, so we are going to generate more Fury while we're berserking. So that's definitely going to just kind of fuel everything here. Pit Fighter is the next one. Eventually, we're going to want to try to get as much into Pit Fighter as we can. This was just kind of one of the last things that I had the points for after getting the rest of the way. So we're going with that. But Pit Fighter, we're going to do more damage to close-up enemies. We're going to do increased damage to injured enemies. We're going to do increased damage to immobilized enemies. And we're going to do, we are going to do we're going to make them vulnerable with this one here. So the more we can get, even if you have to just go 1-1-1-1 to get all 4, definitely that's an option for us. We're not taking anything else in this portion of the tree. We are going to come to Call of the Ancients, which is probably one of the biggest burst damage skills in the game, at least for the Barb specifically. When this comes in, it is a godsend. This is what got me through not Lilith in the story mode, but Duriel. He's the maggot boss, though, the slug guy. He was very, very, very difficult for me when I got to him, just because my playstyle, I'm a bit of a face tank, so I like to be right up close, right up on you, and I had to kind of kite around a little bit. So I was thinking back to my Diablo Immortal days and trying to kite around in the Path of Blood. If anybody is a Diablo Immortal player, you'll get that reference. There's a couple different bosses in the Path of Blood where you had to really kite around and kind of play ranged. So this was a way for me to kind of do that, as well as get a good big chunk of damage right away when they drop in. And we're just going to go ahead and max that all the way out to the supreme call of the ancients. The cooldown on this is 47 seconds. That is an insane cooldown. If this was a 30-second cooldown, it would still be long, but it would be much more user friendly, should we say. Here we have heavy handed. We're going to try to get as much into this. Similar to Pit Fighter, we're going to go heavy handed. We're going to get wall up. We're going to get concussion. We are going to get brute force, just because we're going to do a lot of damage. These are, we're going to try to get as much into these modifiers. We're going to really just focus in on a couple skills. Basically, you can kind of see, right? We have our base attack. We're going to have our leap. We're going to have our Hammer of the Ancients, and we're going to have Call of the Ancients. So that's 4 skills that we're really focusing in on. And then we're just kind of going through and we're trying to take as much as we can. If we can get to one of these passives, ultimates, Walking Arsenal would be a really good one. We are inflicting bleed damage, so coming into Gushing Wounds is actually going to make our bleeds even better when we get to them. So that is definitely something that I am looking at working out. So let's go ahead and just hop into, we're going to hop, and you can see we hop into a chair. So let's come out into the open world here, and we're just going to go into the open world. We're just going to start smashing some enemies. You can see where we're at. We're way down here. Kelvished is way up here. You can see I've been running around the map here, just going crazy. But we are down here in, where are we at? Zarbinzet. And that is kind of where we're at. So let's see if we can get somebody here. So that's one of my favorite things to do when you have your horse. Definitely work that horse. But so here you can see we're working the frenzy, working our fury up. So let's go ahead and just kind of come over here. Boom, we're doing good damage there, just about 1,000 damage. We didn't even get a crit. And let's see what we can do here. So let's go ahead and use our rallying cry. We're going to use that. Let's go ahead and use call the Call of the Ancients here. And let's come around here. Let's see if we can find somebody that's going to give us a little bit of more of a challenge. So let's run in with our leap. There you can see the leap is a really good option for doing some damage. But you can kind of see where we're at here. Nothing super duper crazy, but you can kind of see, boom, we're chunking down. These are just frenzy just to build up the fury, and then coming in with the Hammer of the Ancients. We're not using any modifiers there. That was literally just the base and the secondary skill. The other one. The other option that we have in the abilities here for Lunging Strike, let's go ahead and refund. And let's go in here. Let's get our battle Lunging Strike. So you're going to see, so the base attack is a little bit different. We're going to have to get that plugged in real quick here. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead. You can see we're doing, that's only our base attack right there. But you can kind of see we're getting that bleed in as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and see if we can get somebody here. Is there anybody over here? Not really worried about working that, but you can see, boom, look at HP bar just chunking down. And then we get our frenzy, and then boom. So I think if you're just looking for just straight damage, I think the bludgeoning attack is going to be the better one for just straight up damage. And you can kind of see, use our modifiers, use our war cry. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring in our boys. Call of the Ancients. Go ahead and just spam it around, right? This is, I think, what is going to be one of our better builds. Let's kill this Herald, and you can come in here. He's got that shield. Get rid of the shield, and we are just done for. What I was running into prior to stumbling on this build With the barb, I like frenzy because it allows it's a faster animation and it allows us to kind of be a little bit more mobile. But I think I might be actually going back to this bludgeoning just because the frenzy, at, even though on the frenzy we are generating our fury faster than with the bludgeoning attack, you can kind of see it's doing, or with the lunging strike, sorry. We are generating fury faster with frenzy. We can just pop, 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 get about half of our frenzy up, hit a big hammer, and do a good chunk of damage. We're losing out on the bleed. And I think the bleed is going to be really optimal to do damage, especially to bosses. When we get to like the bosses, the elite monsters and stuff like that, the bleed is going to be really key for us to just keep chunking down, because we can do damage. We can run away, heal real quick if we need to, come back into the fight, and they're still taking damage because they're being, bled to death. So that's something to think about for you guys. I hope you guys like this one. As I find other builds to do, we're definitely going to cover those here on the channel for you guys. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can for you for Diablo 4. I will be doing another video after I wake up. I'm going to go to bed, wake up, and come back with another one. They are doing a little bit of a patch. And when I say a little bit of a patch, it's a pretty significant patch. What I am seeing for the Barbarian, let me go to, screw the next video. We're just going to bring it in, right? Let's on the fly show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's go image. So here is the patch notes that I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and make it bigger for you guys. So what we're looking at. So specifically for the Barbarian, it's going to be a little bit of a significant one for us. So for the Barbarian, challenging shout the damage reduction from it is going to be cut in half. Legendary aspects, we are going to have cooldown reduction, which is the one that I was really looking forward to getting for our for the Call of the Ancients. This one is going to be basically cut in half. Actually more than in half, because it's going to go from between 2.7 to 5.4 down to 1 to 1.9. So that is a significant, reduction in a benefit for us, which is, and then the maximum cooldown is going to be cut in half from 12 to 16 from 12 to 6 seconds. Been up for too long at this point. Aspect of the whirlwind builds are being nerfed big time, which is going to take our increased crit strike chance from 5 to 10 down to 3.8, so less than what the base was here. Same thing with the max crit strike bonus, is going to be reduced from between 20 to 40% down to 9 to 24. So just the max that we're going to be able to get is just a little bit over what the base was prior. So that's just, that's just one of the things, because that's just the barb in this. So quite a significant. Some of the other, as I just kind of thumbed through, some of the other classes are taking even more significant nerfs. So apologies if your class is getting nerfed. Hopefully we can figure out ways. I know there's a ton of smart players around. Hopefully we can figure out some ways to actually work around that, and maybe it'll make some of these other skills kind of rise in their significance here for us as we go on and play. I'm going to leave you guys right there. I need to edit this and go to bed as quick as I can, so I can, get some other grinding up here for you guys. But as I said, if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, so you don't miss when I do upload my next Diablo 4 video. And I will see you in that next video. Peace.